Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for the SCCA Valvoline Runoffs presented by Toyota. Good look at Max Lagod, your pole sitter in the GT1 division. Look at that. He's a supporter, of course, running in the Trans-Am series, which was carried very heavily on Speedvision. Let's check in with Calvin Fish.
David Steele, you're the crew chief of Mike Lewis. We saw a little confrontation there in the GT3 race. Have you calmed your driver down for this one?
Oh, yeah, he's all cool and calm, and we got another good race on our hands, and I think Max and Don Meluzio will be right there with us, but I think we'd maybe win this one.
He's certainly got a good car underneath him, and Dorsey, I think I recognize this one.
How about it, Bob? Gerald?
Max Lagod is going to start on the pole, is right here. Max, you're going to pace this field, and tell me who you're most worried about behind you.
Well, probably the top about 5-6 cars behind us. They're all qualified to roll within about a second, second and a half, so it'll be interesting the first turn.
A lot of people are billing Lewis as your top threat. Do you think he is?
Yeah, he went real quick this morning. We also did. It's just going to see who can save it to the end.
Now, you know that Lewis is in a car that Dorsey Schrader used to drive. Does that scare you?
Nah, not at all.
All right, Dorsey.
There you go.
Max seems pretty confident down here.
Well, Max knows who's who field of GT1 category winners. Let's check in with Calvin again.
Don Meluzio has been a strong competitor here at the runoffs in the GT3 competition, but recently he moved classes. He's over in the GT1 now. Don, great starting position on the third position here. Can you do anything with these two guys up front today?
Tell you what, I think this is a good spot. I think it's important to get in front of Mike at the start, follow Max, and then see what we can do at the end.
Good luck today.
Thanks a lot, Calvin.
All right, Calvin, and there's a good look at Max. Here is your starting grid. Again, on the pole, a very quick lap. Max Lagod out of Barrington, Illinois, your Central Division champion this year in his Hypermax Engineering Redline Oil Chevy Camaro. Next to him, I would imagine a pretty fired up Mike Lewis from San Diego, California, in the Redline Oil Cyclo Ford Mustang. Second row on the inside, starting third will be Don Meluzio, moving into GT1 this year and has been very effective in his Mannheim Auto Auction Redline Oil Chevy Camaro. Next to him in fourth, gentleman who ran a number of Trans-Am races as well, Bob Ruman, number 23 from Monroe Falls, Ohio, in the Senwell Corporation Camaro. In the next row, it is number 35, Kerry Alexander. He won the American Sedan Championship last year here. He's moved up to GT1 in his Chevy Camaro. Next to him is number 4, Bob Kasich, strong runner in the Central Division in his Kerry Ingredient Chevrolet Camaro. Next up, number 89, another driver with some serious Trans-Am and GT1 experience, Bill Gray out of Springdale, Arkansas, in his Napco Chevrolet Camaro. Next to him will be number 57, Tom Wallace out of Grand Blanc, Michigan, in the Valvoline Buick Regal. Starting in at the 9th position, number 06 is Bob HOFMANN from St. Clair Shores, Michigan, in the Protomark Olds Cutlass. Next to him will be 01, Todd Sprinkle from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, in his Mechanicsburg Sports Car Chevrolet Camaro. Starting 11th is number 11, Dennis Schneider from New Athens, Illinois, in his Kunst Sheet Metal Chevrolet Camaro. Next to him will be number 69, David Fierstein out of Fort Worth, Texas, winner of the Southwestern Division in a Ford Mustang. In our final row will feature number 68, Boris TIRPACK from Enon, Ohio, in his Stone Oil Corvette, and 03, Ray Montalvo out of Macomb, in the Macomb Diesel Incorporated Chevrolet Camaro. That's our starting grid, Dorsey.
Real quick, a lot of talk about the top two, but Meluzio's going to start third. His crew chief, Vic Beiser's down here. Do you have what it takes to get up there and run with those top two?
I think so. I think we have, we've been fast all week. We didn't have a very good qualifying session. Everything's been going well. I think we should be right there.
All right, so we could be looking at a 3-horse race.
Right now, a whole lot of ponies coming out of the keyhole looking for a green flag to kick off this final 19-lap national championship. They get on the throttle, and if they go, Lewis got a bit of a jump. Green it is. Lewis got the jump, and we're going to watch him heading down into that first corner. Lagod coming back after it. Lewis on the outside, but Lagod goes in just a little deeper. He takes the lead. Lewis second, Meluzio third, Ruman in fourth. Lagod holds on. Oh, some action back in the back. That's Kerry Alexander trying to follow Bill Gray by Bob Kasich. Looks like he was able to achieve it, but Lagod out front. Kasich getting into it with one of the cars. They both saved it.
That was a heck of a save, I can tell you. As they come out of it, up to this real fast left-hander, they got a nasty sunshine on the windscreen, on the goggles. It's going to be very difficult for them.
All right, let's go back to a replay of that incident, David.
Here you see them coming down into the bottom of the SDS. Almost spins that car around.
Whew. That was number 4, Kasich, got into the back of number 35, Alexander. There's 01. That's Todd Sprinkle in the Mechanicsburg Sports Car Center Chevrolet Camaro. Deep into the gravel over there. He quickly got out of the car, and he jumped out. The corner worker signaling they need a flat toe at the end of this one to get him removed from there, so he's out of this one early. Meanwhile, look at what Lagod has done. He very quickly has opened up a pretty substantial lead.
Yeah, Max really extended the lead for just one lap into this thing. We got to figure out where that car 01 is sitting, because it might bring out a full force caution. Just never know. It's in a gravel trap somewhere, that's for sure, and the gravel trap did its job because it wasn't in the tire wall.
With our onboard camera, remember 35 Kerry Alexander, who's already survived one tap and go and held on to position here. Here comes Kasich. Those were the two that were running. Meanwhile, there's number 89, Bill Gray. He is close right onto the back of Bob Ruman. The red machine, oh, Gray gets squirrely as he turns into turn 8 at the top of the S's, but holds on to it. Meanwhile, Lagod continuing to stretch it. There is Lewis. Good shot of Max Lagod, that Hypermax engineering car. It's a little sideways right there, getting a sheen off of the track. Is it getting slippery, David?
I think it's been, yes, it is getting slippery. I mean, they've had 25 races this weekend, and plus all the practice, plus the warm-ups, plus everything else. I mean, a ton of oil is down here, but also a good line of rubber, too. But, of course, tons and tons of marbles, of course. It's very slippery to get offline.
That's right, David. Looking at the battle for fourth right now, 23 Ruman, and he's got huge pressure from number 89. That's the white car of Bill Gray, the Napco Camaro, putting a lot of pressure on Bob Ruman. There's Lewis in second, then 31 Meluzio. Here's that battle for fourth, and Gray electing not to try anything this time, but he's certainly applying some pretty intense pressure. Let's, Calvin, we got some great racing going on here.
Well, it seems like Mike Lewis really put a lot of emphasis on being here this weekend. He has a 6-point lead in the NASPORT West Championship, and he gave that up. There's a clashing race this weekend, the final race of that championship, so potentially he could lose that championship by being here at Mid-Ohio.
Well, that NASPORT championship is for the small bore GT categories. GT3, 4, and some GT5 cars run in it. Of course, we've seen he's very, very quick in that division, so he obviously, this GT1 national championship means a great deal.
And of course, one wheel's on the grass, one wheel's on the pavement, which tends to make these cars not track too well. You see the track, as you say, glistening there in the sun. Very difficult for these drivers. It's so late in the afternoon now.
It's really easy to do, exiting the keyhole of one of these cars. Over 600 horsepower on tap, and all you got to do is tap it a little too hard, and the thing turns sideways. Once you hit that outside curve, it pulls you right up over the top of it. You get more wheel spin, and it just gets uglier as you go.
It certainly sucks you in those curves.
Smart move here by Lagod to try and get a jump on that opening lap to get a little bit of a breathing space, and then just try and keep it under him.
Well, he's got momentum, Max does. He's probably done more racing. We just had a Trans-Am race a couple weeks back. So he has had a very busy summer, him and his father, and that car's been working good for him all year.
Lagod continuing and looks to stretch his advantage here in the GT1 division. Once again, the final race of this 25-race, 9-day national championship event called the SCCA Runoffs. There is number 55, Mike Lewis. And there's a good look at our race leader doing a superb job. Cal?
As Max circulates this Mid-Ohio track, his father, Jerry, stands by. And as I understand it, Jerry, this is a real family operation. You do the main preparation on the car.
Certainly is. We just do it all ourselves. Got help a couple of other fellows that are on the neighborhood, and Linda and I do it all.
Obviously do a great job. He scored 5 wins here in Nationals, and he's been the Trans-Am Rising Star, so the boy's obviously on the move.
Well, we're learning a little bit, too. We made a lot of mistakes this year, but we learned a lot, too.
So far today, no mistakes, and he's out front and running good.
Boy, Max has been absolutely a dominant force in the Central Division. He's been a factor in the June sprints, again, the second most important of all the national level races. He's been trying to win this runoffs for a long, long time, and maybe what he learned in the Trans-Am today, what Jerry talked about, maybe that'll help him in good stead today.
Well, I tell you, I have a lot of admiration for him and his father and the family, working for that as we watch the battle for sport. These cars are not easy to get set up right. His father was talking about learning about the chassis and so forth. There's a lot that has to go get done, and they do it all by themselves. So my hat's off to them. It's a neat idea.
Well, what it looks like, I tell you, it's not fun this time around.
Boy, and he has put together a great drive. Again, moving up from a championship in American Sedan last year. Here's the race for ninth, and it is a good one. 06, Bob HOFMANN. He is in that's an old CUTLASS, and he is just holding off number 11, Dennis Schneider, driving an 88 Chevrolet Camaro. So even though a couple of the older cars in the field, they really have themselves a tremendous race going. And we've said that all weekend long. It doesn't matter where you are running on track in the runoffs. You're running with somebody, you're going to duel them. You want to finish better than you are.
Well, you do. I can't tell you how hard this turn 1 is when you're turning into a corner completely blinded by the light, if you will, and then trying to race with someone in close proximity, too. I mean, it's maddening.
The turn 1 here at Mid-Ohio is a particularly difficult corner at the best of times, because it's fast. It has no camber to really help you. Camaro there getting his tail out as he goes to the keyhole. And you come under the bridge, so it's blind anyway. But if you've got that sun right in your eyes as you come up to the bridge, and as you burst out of the bridge, there's a shadow of the bridge right into that bright sun, real bad. And of course, down here now, for these guys, it's a lot darker than it looks. You know, the camera lens obviously helps a lot when it's gloomy like that. So you go from bright sunshine to dark shadow. Very difficult this time of night.
Well, sometimes the shadow can you. 11 again, getting a little squirrely there. Schneider, as he's trying to find a way by 06 Hoffman. But sometimes when you decide the sun is awful bright, you put on one of those dark shields, you get into the shadow. I mean, it's very pitch dark in there, and that can really mess you up.
Well, I'm surprised nobody's taped their windshield up. Usually you'll see a bunch of racers tape at the top of the windshield to narrow the eye port vision down, you know, give you a little bit of sunshade through there. I'm surprised nobody did that, but...
It's the best way to do it, really. I'm a bit surprised, and but of course, they probably didn't think they'd be racing quite this late today.
Well, that's true, too.
It is probably got a little bit less grip in it than some of the others because it's not run that frequently, and they've been, of course, 9 days of racing. There's plenty of grip down there now. There's your leader, Max Lagod. He will be completing lap number 10 of 19. So he's moving along in this one. Lewis, number 55, in second in the ex-Dorsey-Schrader car. And he's got a bit of room in hand over 31 Meluzio moving up to the GT1 division this year. And here is Bill Gray, pretty much equidistant between first and second, third, and fourth. And here's Ruman back in fifth, the red number 23 Sandwich in there between fifth and sixth. That top group of top five is checked out. Oh, and our camera car, that's Alexander. He is stopped in the pits with steam coming out from underneath the hood. Calvin's there.
Okay, I spoke to his crew chief, and he said he was reporting high temperatures there in the early lap. They've decided to bring him in, and they're firing some water in there, trying to cool down the radiator, obviously cool down the engine at the same time, but he's wasting valuable time here in the pits, and he's going to lose a lot of track position because of this one.
Are they just doing that to cool the radiator, or are they trying to clear out debris?
No, they're trying to cool the radiator down. It really won't work that way. You should go through a pressure side and change the water in there. Unfortunately, whatever made that kid hot is not going to just go away.
Well, they're just trying his desperation. They're trying anything to get him back out. He would only have to get back out. And here he goes, just to last another, 9, maybe 8 laps or so. He'd love to finish this one. After winning a national championship last year in American Sedan,
water. You see that?
A lot of water coming out of it.
Yeah, I just watched him come off the keyhole. He had limited wheel spin right there. He's got very good car control. Look at Bob Ruman here. Great guy. Ran in Trans-Am with us all year. He's running real solidly right there.
Bob Ruman, of course, was running for Rookie of the Year most of the year. It wasn't until the end of the year that he finally lost out. Let's go down to Bob.
Nicky Ruman is the team manager and daughter for Bob Ruman, and he's trying to catch up to the 89 car. Is he gaining at all?
He is gaining. He's gaining about a tenth a lap. It's not really a lot right now, but we're hoping that he's going to step it up a little.
Do you think he has what it takes to get up there?
I definitely think he does. It's a tough race, and they're good competitors, and he's got a lot of experience running the little Trans-Am this year, so we hope so.
One more example of the family affair that goes on. The daughter and the team manager charting the progress of Bob Ruman.
What happened? And Ruman coming by. It looks like he'll be able to get through clean. But again, Lagod looking very strong. You were going to say that you...
Yeah, I'm sure his dad's telling him on radio now that he's opened up a real big lead because of that problem with the back markers that Michael had. Calvin?
Kerry Alexander, your day finished early in GT1, but it's not been all bad this weekend.
No, we had a one championship already Friday in T1. We started running a little hot there and had to come in. We felt the motor tightening up, so we didn't want to blow it up, and we had to come in. Only 19 laps, so.
He's running a much more conservative line.
Yeah, I'm sure he's in his cruise mode. His father probably told him, 2 to go, just hold on, don't do anything funny, and you got it made.
But Lewis just is having the most appalling luck with the traffic. I mean, it just doesn't matter where he goes. There's somebody in front of him right at a corner. I mean, it doesn't seem to be... Now he's got the whole straightaway in front of him when it wouldn't matter, and he's not catching anybody up. I mean, he just followed them through one corner after another, and of course they're all, a lot slower than he is. He can lose a ton of time in a lap.
Exceptionally talented driver, but I mean, as we've seen today, luck is not on his side.
He's not having a lucky day, Don Mike, today. There's no doubt about it.
And there's Meluzio. I'm sorry, Dorsey, it was Meluzio, and I wasn't sure if that was Ruman or whether that was a lap car that Meluzio was using. I think it was a lap car that he was working by. He's sitting there in third. And here's the champion, along with his multiple June sprints, division champions, and rising star Trans-Am. Good year if he doesn't.
Well, he's way overdue. I'll tell you what, this guy and his father have worked awful hard. They deserve this victory without a question if they get it. And, it's neat to see it happen. I'm really glad for Max. Those guys have worked and done just an excellent job all year long.
And as you saw, we are indeed on the final lap. And here is Max Lagod Lagod, look at that. He's working at the
He's
keyhole.
still managing to keep a really tight line through that keyhole. Mike Lewis coming up here in second spot. Well clear of Meluzio. Well, not that clear of Meluzio, because that traffic threw him back a little bit into the... But he's not in any danger.
That's Meluzio right there, the black and lime green, number 31, Mannheim Auto Auction Chevrolet Camaro. And here's Lagod at the end of that long back straight. Final time heading into turn number 7, then the climb up to the top of the S's there in turn 8. Right up on the apex, rocks down, back end steps out a little bit, down into turn 9. A lot of elevation change back here. Last time he's going to have to deal with all of them.
I'm sure he's hearing all kind of mechanical grumblings and things going wrong.
I keep hearing for it.
When you've got it one, and he knows right now he's got it one if nothing breaks, that's when he starts feeling, oh my God, I feel something. I got a flat tire, my motor's going soft.
What's that?
It's a horrible last lap, but I think he's going to make it.
Well, you don't want to lose concentration when you got that big a lead either. That doesn't help. He's really got a good focus. He's through the carousel one last time. Nice late apex there. Comes through turn number 16 and onto the front straight. The checkered flag and Max Lagod. Look at that. Dad is thrilled. He finally has won that elusive national championship. He's this year's Trans-Am Rising Star. Max Lagod has had a superlative year. Here's Lewis through for second. His crew very happy and impressed with those efforts, certainly. And third was Meluzio. But Max Lagod has capped off what has already been, I would think, a pretty impressive year. And he's going to take a nice, long cool-off lap, I would have guessed, waving to the crowd. Max Lagod, one happy driver. We'll be back to talk with our finishers in a minute. SCCA Valvoline Runoffs are being brought to you by Toyota. Our minds are always racing. And by Valvoline, the #1 choice of America's top mechanics for use in their own cars. People who know use Valvoline. Well, it was a great race. It's been a great weekend of racing. The unofficial results for GT1, Max Lagod gets his first national championship. Mike Lewis, a tough weekend. He persevered with 2 second places in the rest of the field. You can see Bob Kasich held on for 6th. Wallace was 7th, Hoffman 8th, Schneider 9th, and first on was 10th. 11th was Boris TIRPACK, and in 12th, a disappointed Kerry Alexander are winners with Bob.
Max Lagod, you said you wouldn't feel guilty about racing with the amateurs. You got your first win. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I tell you, we've been trying this for about 7, 8 years, and it's funny. It feels real good to win one now.
Were you thinking that everything was going to go wrong there on the last lap when you had such a big lead?
You know, I've seen all kinds of races this year where guys blow engines, last 2 corners to go, things like that, and yeah, it crosses your mind. But and good for the whole race, and it was great.
Dorsey Schrader saw the car backfire a couple of times. Was that anything to worry you?
Probably not. Just a little exhaust leak that happens when a car is run for a while, so no big deal.
No big deal. He gets his first national championship. A big win for Max Lagod.
I was going to say no big deal for the exhaust leak, a huge deal in winning that national championship. Congratulations to Max Lagod and everybody in that one. They put on a great show. Max Lagod going to head out pretty soon, and they're going to give him that checkered flag back so he can go out and do his victory lap. He hasn't done that yet. He's going to celebrate there. They're telling him, go out and have some fun. Dad?